Hey everybody! I'm here today to talk to you about your first time driving manual, and I'll be going over specifically 7 tips that you need to know. In this video, I will be outlining 7 crucial tips that will help you during your first time driving a manual car. Now, I do apologize. I am a little bit sick, so you might hear my voice cutting in and out, and you might hear me getting congested, but I definitely still want to do this video, so let's get it done. Tip number 1. This is probably the most critical tip that I can give to you, and that is that you will stall, okay? So basically, you will stall the car, and to be honest with you, you'll probably stall the car like more than 50 times if you're really trying to learn how to drive manual. More than 50 times, like during your first time driving manual alone, during that first session, that first learning session. It's normal, okay? Don't be afraid to stall the car. Cars are meant to withstand being stalled, okay? If you stall the car like 10,000 times, you're probably gonna end up doing some damage, but like the amount of times that you will stall a car when you are learning to drive it I can't say for sure, but in most cases will not really negatively affect the health of the car, okay? So you will stall the car and you'll learn how to not stall the car. Stalling is part of the learning process, and you got to use that as motivation to learn how to not stall it, okay? The second tip is it's all about the clutch, okay? The clutch is probably the most crucial part of driving manual. It actually will determine the smoothness of your shifts, the smoothness of your starts. It'll determine how it just determines a lot. It basically is probably the most important thing about driving manual. Obviously, the gear shifter is important, but all you're doing with the gear shifter is putting it into a gear and out of a gear. Whereas with the clutch, you're finding that exact speed that you have to release it or push it in, and the exact biting point of it, and there's so much to it. It's a beautiful thing. It's really like, it's like a piece of artwork when you learn how to drive manual. You turn your driving skill into a piece of artwork. If that makes any sense at all, I'm not sure. Tip number 3 is be nice with the car. Go easy. I know what you want to do, most likely. You want to put it in first. You want to rev it up, release the clutch. Like, you know, squawk the tires. You want to squawk into second. Been there, done that. Okay, I know you want to do that. That will be detrimental to the health of the car. Go easy with the car. Plus, if you really want to learn how to drive manual properly, go easy. Because the slower that you can do things, the better of a manual driver you are. Anybody can rev it up, put it in first, pop the clutch, and start driving, okay? Anybody can do that, literally. Like, you can type out instructions, and probably like anyone will be able to follow them. But to be able to do it slowly and smoothly, that's the key factor to driving manual properly and being a good manual driver. So basically, be nice with the car. Go easy with the car, okay? Tip number 4 is push the clutch in fully when you are going to shift gears. In most manual cars, you're gonna be able to actually shift when you don't push the clutch in all the way. Like, as long as your timing is right, you know, to be honest with you, you know, many people, including myself, can shift without the clutch at all, okay? But what I'm trying to tell you is that's not good. It's cool to show off. Yeah, whoa, look at me. It's really cool to show off. And it's easier on your leg to not push the clutch in fully, but if you want to make the car last long, and if you want to be a really good manual driver, push that clutch in all the way whenever you're shifting gears, okay? Tip number 5 is you will memorize the gear locations in time. I know right now you're probably looking down to shift through the gears. That's 100% normal, okay? Go keep it to side streets and stuff, you know, because if you're looking down, you're taking your focus off the road, which if you're driving on a side street and you're looking down for like a millisecond, or, you know, a fraction of a second, you know, at like 6 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody on the roads on the side streets, or in an empty parking lot, then that's generally okay for the learning process. But you will memorize the gear locations in time, and then you can take the car on the road because you won't have to look down as often, and then you won't have to look down at all eventually. Okay, that was tip number 5. Tip number 6, so yeah, number 5 was you will memorize the gear locations in time. Tip number 6, just to recap, tip number 6 is everyone that knows how to drive manual now has not known at some point in time. So basically, everyone that knows how to drive manual right now, there was a point in time in which they didn't know how to drive manual and they learned. So you're in that position right now. Relax, it's gonna be okay. you know, you will learn in time. And you can, when you do learn, and let's say you're teaching someone else, let's say you're teaching your son or your daughter how to drive, your niece or your nephew or a friend, you can say to them, listen, hey, I didn't know how to drive manual at some point, and then I learned. And you can say that to them, and that will be the truth, right? So everyone that knows how to do anything in life, on a random motivational side note, anyone that knows how to do anything in life hasn't known at some point, and then they learned how to do it, and that's a key factor over there. Last but not least is tip number 7, which is, in case of an emergency, just push the clutch in and brake. So if you're ever in an emergency, like I know in a manual car, you're like, what do I do? What do I do? If you're ever in an emergency, just push the clutch in and push the brake. And it's that simple. If you push the clutch in, you're gonna disconnect essentially the transmission from the engine. Basically, I mean, to sum it up in layman's terms, you're gonna make sure that the car doesn't continue accelerating forward if you push the clutch in and hold it in. And if you brake, you're gonna be able to slow down and bring the car to a stop. So if you're in an emergency situation, just push that clutch in and brake. It's as simple as that. And that's it. Those are 7 tips that you need to know for your first time driving manual. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.